Your phone rings. The call isn't on your calendar, and you're in the middle of something that really matters. A report, you're reviewing a document, working on a project you're trying to get finished today. But the call is from a friend, and you say to yourself, I'll just talk for a few minutes and pick up. One subject leads to another on the call, and before you know it, 45 minutes has flown by. You look up at the clock and start to panic, say you got to go. And now, by the time you hang up, you can't remember where you left off and what you were working on. Not to mention, it takes 20 minutes to get back into focus mode. Over an hour and a half is now gone. You're behind. The call wasn't urgent, wasn't important. You could have called them back on the drive home. Just felt good at the moment. That's the delayed gratification problem, and it's costing you more than you think. Today, we're covering what the Marshmallow Test is, what the research says about delayed gratification, and 3 ways to train yourself to wait for what matters so you can be more productive at work, at home, and everywhere in between. In the late 1960s, Stanford psychologist Walter Mischel sat children down one at a time in a plain room. On the table, 1 marshmallow. The deal? Eat it now or wait 15 minutes and get 2 marshmallows. Then the researcher walked out. Some kids ate it immediately. Some covered their eyes. Some sang to themselves, did anything to stay distracted. What made the study famous wasn't the marshmallow. It was what came next. When Mischel followed up a decade later, the kids who waited tended to be more academically and socially competent, better at handling frustration and stress. The science has been picked apart since then. A 2019 replication in Psychological Science found the effect smaller than originally reported, and that family background also played a real role. Fair enough. But what holds up across the research is this. The ability to delay gratification is a trainable skill. The Marshmallow Test isn't a life sentence, it's a muscle. Here's 3 ways to build delayed gratification. First, make the future reward visible. Before a focused work block, take 10 seconds to name what you're working toward. A finished project makes for a better conversation at dinner because you're still not mentally at your desk. When the pull towards distraction hits, the future payoff needs a shape because that's what makes it easier to hold on to. Second, create friction between you and the instant reward. Your phone isn't going to stop ringing or buzzing, but you can put it in airplane mode and you can make it harder to grab. Every second of friction buys your brain a moment to make a real choice. Delayed gratification doesn't always require willpower. Sometimes it just requires a door between you and the marshmallow. Third, practice the small waits. Finish your paragraph before checking the message. Wait until the meeting ends before looking at your phone. Cook the meal instead of ordering delivery. Every time you choose a slightly longer route to a better outcome, you're training your brain. The bigger waits, the patient career move, the saved money, the relationship you invested in, they all get easier because you've been putting in the reps. The kids who waited in Michelle's experiment weren't disciplined by nature. Most of them just looked away, sang a song, made the moment easier to survive. Create that move for yourself and see how much more you get accomplished. Your move.